Hello aspirants, welcome to Environment course by UPSC experts. This is class 2. See, before going into the class, I would like to discuss few things. See, first thing is please have faith in me and believe that this course along with the notes would be sufficient for your environment, right? See, I have made the course in such a way that it is going to be the most comprehensive course, right? So don't have second thoughts or doubts ki whether this course is sufficient or not, right? Because I will be covering everything possible in this course, right? See, agar if I am also giving examination, I wouldn't have prepared the subject this much, right? See, I have done extensive research and I have put in extensive hours to build this course. So with the notes and the classes, you will be covering everything of the environment. And once you are following the notes, right, these notes can replace Shankar IAS or PMFIAS or any other book. Once you are referring to this book, you can easily throw away Shankar IAS or PMFIAS or any other book. I am saying it with confidence because I have made the notes in such a way. I have referred n number of sources, right? I have referred Shankar IAS also, PMF IAS also, Volli IAS book also, or some other materials regarding environment. Even I have referred current affairs magazines. I have done extensive online research, right? I have visited Vajiram websites. I have visited Vision IAS websites, right? So please believe that this notes is made in a very comprehensive way, right? In if one or two topics are not covered, I know that is like agriculture is not covered, right? Indian forest is not covered in the notes, that I will be bringing up, right? Once few classes are done, then I will again uploading the notes, right? I will be providing you for free, right? So that is it. So let's go to the class notes and start with the class 2. See, here we are going to discuss about types of biotic interactions in a food web. See, these are basically interactions between two organisms, right? Between two species or one species of an organism. So biotic interaction, that is biological interactions, like organisms interactions with respect to each other. So there are basically six type of interactions we'll be studying here, right? Six interactions between any species 1 or species 2, right? So first is mutualism, right? Where whenever is two species interact, whenever two species interact, right, they both benefit, right? So that is plus represents benefit to species 1 and benefit to species 2, right? So both the species benefit. When both the species benefit because of that interaction, we call it mutualism, right? So let's discuss about mutualism, right? See, mutualism, both interacting species benefit, right? So first example is lichen, right? Lichens, see, we will be discussing lichens in a separate topic, right? So there I will be showing you video of the lichens also. Now first understand mutualism. One very good example, important example is, it is a mutualistic relationship between fungus and algae, photosynthesizing algae. So this we can remember it as fa, right? So mutual interaction. So lichen is nothing but what? Lichen is nothing but fungus and algae. Both are living together and each benefiting each other, right? So here algae provides food. Photosynthesis से food बनाती है algae, and it provides food to the fungus, right? And fungus in return provide safe shelter to the algae, right? So that is the mutualism where both species, fungi also benefit and algae also benefits from the relationship, right? This is a very, we can say this is mutual in love, right? In a relationship where male member is also benefiting from the relationship and female member also benefiting from the relationship, and both are growing together as an individual, right? So that is mutualism, mutual relationship where both individuals benefit, right? Then the next example is mycorrhizae, right? Mycorrhizae is association between fungi, that is mycorrhizae fungi, and the roots of higher plants, right? See, if we see 80% of the plants, we see the roots of the plant, right? Say this is a plant, right? And these are roots, right? The roots of a plant has fungi, mycorrhizae fungi, they have mutual relationship, fungi. So what does it happens? See, these fungi help the plant in absorption of essential nutrients, right, from the soil. Fungus helps the plants in absorption of nutrients, so roots को nutrients लेने में help करेगी, while the plant in turn provides fungi with energy yielding carbohydrates. So जो plants roots का जो carbohydrates है, right, plants have carbohydrates, right, plants produce what, glucose is what, carbohydrates. So plants का कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स को फंगाई काके अपना फूड की तरह यूज करती है. सो दिस इज अगेन, सो प्लांट को भी बेनिफिट मिल रहा है एंड फंगाई को भी बेनिफिट मिल रहा है. सो दैट इज mycorrhizae fungi and plants roots having symbiotic relation or mutual relation, right? This is also called, this mutual relation also called symbiotic relation where both benefiting, right? This is the thing. Now let's see a video on this thing.
Over 80% of plants live in a symbiotic relationship with a remarkable organism called mycorrhizal fungi. Through this symbiosis, the fungi and the plant naturally develop a lifelong bond of mutual benefit that's existed for over 450 million years. Mycorrhiza is the term used to describe the symbiotic relationship between mycorrhizal fungi and a plant's root system. First, the spore of mycorrhizal fungi germinate in the soil and make their way to the nearest roots. The roots are then colonized by the fungi, and mycorrhiza are established. The fungi penetrate the root and create an internal network of fungal structures inside the root cells, where the plant and mycorrhizae exchange sugars and nutrients. Finally, the hyphae continue to develop outside the roots, forming an extended network of fine filaments, which cover up to 700 times more soil area than the plant's own roots. This secondary root system draws in extra beneficial nutrients and water, supporting a plant or tree for its entire lifetime.
See, right? So in the video, we have discussed how mycorrhizae, right, both are benefiting, right? Now, let's see next example, that is mutual relationship between fig tree and wasp. Fig tree and wasp. See, fig tree or fig is what? Anjeer, right? Fig is anjeer, you call in Hindi, right? So anjeer and wasp is like a honeybee, right? So in fact, in 2024, there is a question on this. See, these are the examples which are covered in NCRT. So I picked up these examples from NCRTs, right? So fig tree, right? Fig tree में क्या होता है actually? There is a fig, right? And wasps enter into the figs, right? Enter into the figs and lay eggs inside the tree, right? And these figs, when they enter, they pollinate the wasp, right? And they pollinate, they lay eggs inside the wasp fruit, right? So, and after that, when fruits, figs, wasps, they grow, males, they leave, right? And females are left out. I think females leave and males are left out in the fig fruit only. So in anjeer, the seeds we see, these are nothing but wasps, right? So wasps also get benefit because the eggs fertilate inside the anjeer, right? So that provides a protection, right? So and on the other hand, fig also get benefit because they get pollinated, right? दूसरे fig tree में जाएंगे, right? Wasps when they come out and then they go and pollinate other fig trees, right? So this is a beautiful mutual relationship, right? So fig flowers is pollinated by wasp and a wasp lays eggs in a fig fruit, right? So now let's see video on this fig and wasp so that you get more clarity, right? See, I am incorporating videos so that you develop pictorial memory and you understand things with more clarity. See here, see wasp say I just mentioned this, right? This is there in your notes. Rather, if you watch a video, then you won't forget it. So that's why I am incorporating as many videos on minute things also, so that you can remember things and answer them with clarity in the examination hall, right?
Ever wondered how figs are pollinated? It's a fascinating dance between figs and tiny fig wasps. Female fig wasps enter the fig through a small opening, risking their lives in the process. Inside, they deposit their eggs and pollinate the fig's flowers. The fig provides a safe haven and food for the wasp larvae, which develop inside. Once matured, male wasps mate with the females and create exit tunnels. The males die inside the fig, while the fertilized females escape to find new figs, carrying pollen with them. This intricate mutualism ensures the survival of both species, showcasing nature's incredible interdependence.
Okay, so you have watched the video. In video, we have seen how wasp and fig tree are in mutual relationship, right? So this is first interaction, that is mutualism, where both species benefit. In all the three examples, we have seen both the species benefit, right? See, in course of time, we will be discussing other examples also, because this mutualism or symbiotic relationship are very important. If we see corals are also symbiotic relationship, right? So we will be discussing, right? So now let's see the next one, that is commensalism, right? Commensalism, where one species get benefit, and other species have no impact at all. No impact. Zero represents neither benefit nor harm, right? So one species is benefiting and other is having no impact, neither benefited nor harm. So commensalism is one species benefit and the other is unaffected. So neither harmed nor benefited. Other is neither harmed nor benefited. So that is, so example of this kind of relationship is an orchid growing as epiphytes. See, epiphytes again is a important word. Epiphytes is what? That is plant growing on another tree, right? See, this is a tree. This is say मैंगो ट्री में ऑर्चिड जो क्लाइंबर्स टाइप होता है ना पेड़, तो वो आते हैं इधर. वो क्यों आते हैं? इसको सहारे यूज करके दे यूज दिस एज ए सपोर्ट सिस्टम बिकॉज दे नीड सनलाइट. So orchid they is a epiphyte plant on a mango tree because to get sunlight, right? If they don't climb, then they will be here, so they don't get sunlight. If they don't get sunlight, they cannot go through the process of photosynthesis, so plants will die. So to get sunlight, they will grow on trees, right? So epiphytes we can see mostly in evergreen forests, right? So there is a question UPSC asked, right? See, epiphytes, because see here trees are very lengthy, up to 60 meters, right? So epiphytes they climb these trees, and see here the epiphyte, the orchid is getting the benefit, right? Epiphyte orchid is getting the benefit because it is getting sunlight. On the other hand, mango tree doesn't have any impact. Okay, so that is zero impact and it is having positive impact, right? So that is example of commensalism, right? So epiphytic plant get benefit in the form of support to get sunlight, in the form of to get sunlight. On the other hand, tree doesn't get harmed or benefited. ठीक है, tree को कुछ फर्क ही नहीं पड़ रहा, right? So that is commensalism, right? Where one is getting benefit and other is unaffected, neither harmed nor benefited, right? So next example of this is suckerfish. Suckerfish, or it is also called remora fish, right? You can write it here. Remora fish is a very specific species, right? So suckerfish or remora fish often attaches to a shark. This helps the suckerfish get protection, a free ride, as well as a meal from the leftovers of the shark meal. Okay, the shark however doesn't get any benefit, nor it is adversely affected by the association. So let's watch a video, right, where we discuss this symbiotic relationship between suckerfish. See, video helps you to remember things, to understand things properly.
This image is getting darn near cliche. If fish hitches a ride on a shark or a whale, yeah, we got it. The fish is called a remora, but it's no cliche. It's actually far more fascinating than it lets on. If you guessed that the remora attaches to other creatures with suction, you'd be right. What you might not know is that the fish isn't suctioning with its mouth. The remora's suction cup is on the top of its noggin. Check it out. Nice hat, brah. That hat is its highly modified dorsal fin.
Right? So you have watched the video, right? Suckerfish, how it is getting attached to shark with special feature, right? Special type of which helps in attachment, right? Attaching, and as the shark moves, ठीक है, shark जो भी खाना खाएगी, right? उसका बचा हुआ that suckerfish will eat, right? On the other hand, shark doesn't have any adverse effect, right? So that is commensalism, positive effect on suckerfish and zero effect on shark, right? Then next is cattle egret and grazing cattle. Cattle egret and grazing cattle. See, this is very common. See, we see birds, right? Cattle, bird named cattle egret, it moves with grazing cattle. Cow या buffalo के साथ move करेगी. अब क्या होगा? Cow or buffalo, while moving, it moves the plants, right? So when it moves the plants, small insects, they also fly. When they fly, it becomes easy for egret to catch those flies, right? So cattle, as they move, stir and flush out insects from the vegetation that otherwise might be difficult for the egrets to find and catch, right? And on the other hand, cattle doesn't have any, not adverse, not positive. So positive and zero relation, right? See, all these are examples discussed in the NCERT books, right? So this is the commensalism. And the third one is amensalism, right? Third one is amensalism, right? So commensalism is positive and zero. On the other hand, amensalism is negative and zero. One is adversely affected and other is having zero impact, right? Or unaffected, neither benefited nor harmed. So let's see the example. See, amensalism example is one species is harmed, right? That is harmed, and other species is unaffected, neither harmed nor benefited, right? So that is example is a large tree shades a small plants and retarding the growth of a small plant. See, there is a big tree here, right? So, and there is a small plant here, right? Now see, it is not allowing sunlight to penetrate into the small plant. So this small plant is negatively affected, right? And big tree doesn't have any impact. So this is small is negative and big is zero. So sunlight नहीं आ रहा है, so photosynthesis है, तो photosynthesis नहीं होगा small plant, so it would be negatively adverse, retarding the growth of the small plant. So small plant has no effect on the large tree, right? Small plant is having no effect on the large tree. So one is negative and other is 0. That is ammensilism. Another important example of ammensilism you can write is few mushrooms growing in forests release chemicals that inhibit the growth of other plants, right? So inhibit the growth of other plants. So mushrooms are having no effect. See, mushrooms को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा. On the other hand, other plants, they are getting adversely affected. So negative and 0. So that is ammensilism. Ammensilism is negative and 0. Commensalism is positive and 0. Right? That you need to remember. So next kind of relationship is that is competition. Right? Competition where both species are harmed by the interaction. That is see, competition. Both species are harmed. Negative. Both species are harmed. That is competition. Right? See, this is organisms in an ecosystem have to compete with each other for the available resources like food. Right? That is competition. This is the most common thing available in a interaction. Right? Competition of species. Right? Many species get extinct because of competition. Right? And many like fights etc happen because of competition over resources. So this is one of the most common thing we see. Like there is a competition between lions and the tigers, right? There is a competition among lions also, right? So that is competition as an interaction. So this is right, no need to discuss it, and this is the common thing, right? So next is predation. Again, predation is also one species, the predator benefits while the second species prey is harmed and inhibited. Harmed तो क्या मर जाती है, right? So predation is predators like leopards, tigers and cheetahs prey on herbivores like deer, right? So predation, in fact, humans also predate many animals. Humans also predate many things, right? So predation is again a common known. One is positively affected and other is negatively affected, right? That is जान ही चले जाती है, right? So positive and negative, that is predation, right? So this is the fifth one is predation, right? So one is benefit. See, tiger is getting benefit and a deer is getting killed, so that is predation. So next is parasitism, right? See, parasitism also positive and negative. See, positive and negative, here the difference is either it leads to death, killing, and parasitism, right? In parasitism, right, it is slow killing or no killing, right? Negatively affecting. Here negative effect is very aggressive, right? Very extreme form of negative, right? So here it is slow killing or slowly taking benefits, right? Not killing, right? That is also parasitism. Let's see examples. See, parasitism, one species benefits while the second species host is harmed. Harm, right? There is no killing, harmed, right? So parasitism involves parasite living in or on another living species called the host. So जो parasite organism से, right? The one who take benefits, that is called parasite, right? That is called parasite. And the one on which they live, that is called host. So parasite gets its nourishment and often shelter from its host. So parasite take nourishment. So we'll see the examples, and shelter bhi mil jata parasite ko host se, right? So and parasites we have few types. That is, one is ectoparasites. That is parasites that feed on external surface of the host organism are called ecto. See, ecto is outside and endo is inside, right? Endogenic forces, ectogenic forces, right? Exogenic forces. So endo is inside, right? So example is, see, lice on humans, right? Lice, they live outside, right? And they take resources from us, right? Ticks on dogs, another parasite. And one important parasite here, see, you need to remember this, that is Cascata, right? That is Cascata, right? उसको हिंदी में what they call is अमर बेल, that is अमर बेल, right? अमर बेल, अमर, मरती नहीं है, right? So Cascata growing on hedge plants. So Cascata is a plant, parasitic plant that is commonly found on hedge plants. As see, parasite Cascata क्या है? Cascata has lost its chlorophyll and lives in the course of evolution, right? So उनको photosynthesis कर ही नहीं पाता है. So what it does is it derives its nutrition from the host plants which it parasites. So Cascata is a parasite, ठीक है? Over the course of evolution उनका chlorophyll और leaves चला गया. अब बट क्लोरोफिल नहीं है तो भाई फूड फिर भी चाहिए, तो उसके लिए क्या करती है, जो भी होस्ट प्लांट पे ग्रो करती है उनको न्यूट्रिएंट्स खींच लेती है, राइट? सो लेट्स वॉच ए वीडियो ऑन दिस Cascata, right? You will get clarity, right? Cascata. So
Parasitic plants. Non-green plants cannot prepare their own food. Some plants like Cascata grow on other plants and derive nutrition from them. Such plants are called parasitic plants. Mushrooms and molds also cannot prepare their own food, as they do not contain chlorophyll. They obtain their food from dead and decayed organisms present in the soil.
right, so now let's discuss about endoparasites. Endoparasites, right? So Cascata video we have seen, see Cascata is yellowish in color, right? It doesn't have chlorophyll. अगर chlorophyll नहीं है तो भाई वो food तैयार ही नहीं कर सकता है. So what it is doing taking nutrition from the host plants, right? See Cascata is Amar bale is Amar is it doesn't die because it takes nutrition from the host, so parasite, right? Then next is endoparasites. So endoparasites are parasites that live inside the host body at different sites. Like some parasites can be live in liver, some on kidneys, some on lungs, some on red blood cells. Examples of parasites are tapeworms, roundworms, malarial parasite. Many bacteria, fungi and viruses are common parasites of humans, right? In every animal there are parasites. They नेगेटिवली जैसे वायरसेस है हमें बीमार कर देती है, हमारा एनर्जी ड्रेन कर देती है, राइट? दे ग्रो, राइट? टेप वॉर्म्स, राउंड वॉर्म्स, मलेरियल पैरासाइट एक्सेट्रा, ऑल दीज आर parasites. Almost all the microorganisms act as some kind of parasite, right? And the next is brood parasitism, right? Brood parasitism is parasitism seen in birds. Again an important term, right? Seen in birds is an example of parasitism in which parasitic bird lays its eggs in the nest of its host and lets the host incubate them. See, again here one of the well-known example is cuckoo, right? Example is cuckoo. So you can write it down here. So that is cuckoo or कोयल, ठीक है? कोयल बर्ड क्या करती है? See, male कोयल distracts the crow from its nest, ठीक है? नेस्ट से दूर लेके चलती है डिस्ट्रैक्ट करके, ठीक है? अब तब क्या करती है फीमेल कोयल और कुकू, फीमेल कोयल के आके जो एग्स है, ठीक है, कोयल का एग्स वो क्रो का नेस्ट में डाल देती है और ऐसा एग्स डालती है जो क्रो का बर्ड्स की तरह एग्स की तरह दिखे, राइट? सो क्रो की एग्स की तरह दिखे ऐसा एग्स डाल देती है ताकि मदर बाद में भी आए, सो शी कैन नॉट आइडेंटिफाई, ठीक है, एग्स एक्स्ट्रा ऐड हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ, राइट? सो और ऐड भी हुआ तो कि कौन सा बच्चा है कौन नहीं है, राइट? सो व्हाट डज क्रो डू नाउ? क्रो इंक्यूबेट देम, राइट? क्रो इंक्यूबेट देम, तो कोयल का एग्स को भी इंक्यूबेट करती है. अब क्या करती है कोयल का बच्चे क्या करते हैं जल्दी एग्स से बाहर आ जाते हैं. अब जब बाहर आएंगे तो बाकी क्रो का एग्स जो है उनको बाहर फेंक देते हैं, राइट? सो दैट इज पैरासाइटिज्म. सो होस्ट is having नेगेटिव, राइट, नेगेटिव इफेक्ट, बच्चे मर रहा है और उनका एनर्जी उनको इंक्यूबेट करने में जा रही है. ऑन द अदर हैंड, पैरासाइट बर्ड्स आर टेकिंग बेनिफिट्स ऑफ इट, राइट. सो दैट इज ब्रूड पैरासाइटिज्म. दैट इज पैरासाइटिज्म seen in birds where with respect to laying of eggs, etc., right. So that is parasitism. Again, very important. See, cascata is important and brood parasitism is also important, right. Now let's see, with this we are done with the six type of interactions we see among various species. See, again, very important topic, right. Mostly examples. So let's see questions asked by UPSC, right. See, in 2021 there is a question. 2021 there is a question: which of the following species that can establish symbiotic relationship with each other? Symbiotic relationship is nothing but mutual benefit relationship. Mutual benefit relationship, that is plus positive and positive to both the species involved, right. So that is mutual benefit relationship. So which of the following have species, ठीक है क्या इसमें, ठीक है, फंगाई में भी बहुत सारे स्पीसीज है, प्रोटोजोआ में भी बहुत सारे स्पीसीज है, एंड नाइडेरियंस आल्सो हैव मेनी स्पीसीज. सी, नाइडेरियंस इन फर्स्ट क्लास वी हैव डिस्कस्ड, राइट. सी, अगेन घूम फिर के नाइडेरियंस इधर भी आ गया, राइट. सो नाइडेरियंस आर व्हाट, राइट. सो नाइडेरियंस दे हैव म्यूचुअल बेनिफिट्स. वी कैन, नाइडेरियंस में कोरल्स है, राइट, कोरल्स एंड jellyfish, etc. So we know corals have symbiotic relationship, right. So corals तो हम पढ़ेंगे भी बाद में भी, right. So cnidarians, first discuss about cnidarians. See, cnidarians also called coelenterate, right. Coelenterate. So cnidarians also called coelenterate, right, are mostly marine animals. So cnidarians are marine animals. They include corals, they include hydras, they include jellyfish, they include sea anemones, they include sea pens, they include sea whips, they include sea fans. See, in last class we have watched a video on cnidarians, right. So the relationship between cnidarians and dinoflagellate algae is termed as symbiotic relation, because both animal host and algae are benefit from the association. So it is a mutualistic interaction. Another example, important example of cnidarians having relationship, mutualistic relationship, is the clownfish. You can note it down in the notes because it is mentioned in most of the books. Clownfish and sea anemone, right. So they both have symbiotic relationship. See, this is sea anemones, right. Sea anemones are, see, fiber like, ठीक है, ऐसा होते हैं, ठीक है. Sea anemones and clownfish is a fish, right. अब क्या होता है, sea anemones, right, they don't let other animals to come near, right. तो उनमें नहीं तो उसमें फंस जाएंगे, right. So they don't let other fishes, and clownfish have developed some adaptation, so they don't get hurt when they are in sea anemones, right. Sea anemones. So clownfish get protection from other animals when they are with sea anemones. On the other hand, sea anemones also get benefit because sea anemones, clownfish would be providing nutrients, right, etc. to sea anemones, right. Nutrients उनका जैसे waste है, excreta वगैरह यूज करके sea anemones will be beneficial from the clownfish. So I have a video on this, right. So you watch this video, right. Watch video on clownfish and anemone mutual relationship. You will get more clarity.
It's time for a fun fish fact. Did you know that clownfish and anemone have a symbiotic relationship where they both benefit from each other? The clownfish has a protective slime coat that's a lot thicker than a lot of other fish, and this stops it from getting stung by the sea anemone. So the clownfish has a home to live in that won't hurt him but will hurt others, offering him protection. And the clownfish benefit the anemone by providing nutrients to them through their waste, also cleaning up the anemone, and scaring off potential predators. Also,
right? So cnidarians have corals maybe mutual relationship है, sea anemones maybe mutual relationship है with respect to some organism. So cnidarians is a correct answer. That is that can establish symbiotic relationship with other organisms. Cnidarians have corals. They can establish mutual relationship with fungi, right? And sea anemone are cnidarians. They can establish mutual relationship with clownfish. Then fungi we know and we have discussed. Fungi has mutual relationship with plant roots, right? That is mycorrhizae fungi, right? Mycorrhizae fungi in the class we discussed. See, mycorrhizae fungi, right? Mycorrhizae is a fungi and plant roots, right? Mycorrhizae is a fungi and plant roots. They have mutualistic relationship. ठीक है? 80% of पेड़ों में 450 million years से mutual relationship है. And other is fungi and algae, right? See here, please make few changes. See, this is lichen is equal to, that is lichen is fungi plus algae, right? So fungi or algae में mutual relationship है, that is lichen. So in lichens also, right, that is with fungi we see mutual relationship. So fungi we can see mutual relationship with algae or plants, right? So that is mutual relationship, symbiotic relationship is there. And with respect to protozoa, so protozoa में let's write it. See, protozoa, termites में अंदर protozoa आता है. So protozoa have mutual relationship with respect to termites, have a symbiotic mutualistic relationship with protozoa. So again एक important example है. So termites क्या होता है? Termites होता है wood eating insects, right? छोटे छोटे घर में भी wood को जो भी खाती है वो termites होते हैं. And termites के पेट में होता है protozoa, right? So because of this protozoa, right, the termites can eat cellulose, digest cellulose. Cellulose wood में cellulose ही होता है. So cellulose को normal animals digest नहीं कर पाता, right? Cellulose को digest करने के लिए हमें certain kind of bacteria, certain kind of fungi, certain kind of protozoa की जरूरत होती है. So because of the protozoa present in the stomach of termites, छोटे छोटे stomach of छोटे छोटे termites में, because of the protozoa present in the stomach, right, is symbiotic relation that live in insects gut. ठीक है? stomach के gut में protozoa होती है, ठीक है? that helps in digest. The termite benefits from the ability of bacterial symbionts within the protozoa to digest cellulose, right? So termites के साथ mutualistic protozoa relationship है. Right? On the other hand, termites क्या provide करती है? भाई पेट में सही temperature होगा, right? सही conditions होगा to protozoa to multiply, right? So protozoa को भी पेट में अच्छे से जगह मिल रही है grow करने के लिए, and termites को भी benefit मिल रहा है. So that is right. Another is, see, protozoa have symbiotic relationship with many bacteria species, right? With many algae species also they have symbiotic relationship, and few cyanobacteria, right? This is cyanobacteria is what? Blue green algae, right? In last class we discussed blue green algae, right? So with cyanobacteria also few protozoa form symbiotic relationship, and they also form symbiotic relations with ruminants. Ruminants क्या है? जो घास खाते हैं, राइट? जैसे कैटिल, गोट वगैरह. सो उनके पेट में होता है बैक्टीरिया, प्रोटोजोआ, फंगाई एक्सेट्रा, राइट? सो दैट हेल्प्स देम टू digest the grass. Grass has cellulose. See, humans, we can't digest grass because we don't have that bacteria or protozoa which are present in ruminants, right? So ruminants have protozoa, right? And termites के पेट में भी प्रोटोजोआ होता है. एंड फ्यू वुड ईटिंग कॉकरोचेस, ठीक है, उसमें भी प्रोटोजोआ होता है, राइट. सो बेसिकली जो भी चीजें कि जो वुड या ग्रास को डाइजेस्ट कर सकता है, तो उधर देर वुड बी प्रोटोजोआ, देर वुड बी बैक्टीरिया एंड देर वुड बी फंगाई विच हेल्प्स देम इन डाइजेस्टिंग दो सेल्यूलोज, क्योंकि नॉर्मल पेट में सेल्यूलोज डाइजेस्ट नहीं हो सकता. सो वी नीड प्रोटोजोआ टू डाइजेस्ट देम. सो इन सब में प्रोटोजोआ होती है, राइट. सो दैट इज सिम्बायोटिक रिलेशनशिप. प्रोटोजोआ आल्सो बेनिफिट्स. स्टमक में प्रोटोजोआ को सही टेम्परेचर मिल जाती है ग्रो करने के लिए, सही एटमोस्फियर, सही इकोसिस्टम मिल जाती है ग्रो करने के लिए, राइट. सो अगेन दैट इज द थिंग, राइट. सो अगेन very good question, right? We have covered. So here we need to remember cnidarians and sea anemone are cnidarians having symbiotic relationship with clownfish, right? Then fungi, mycorrhizae fungi and plants have symbiotic relationship. Algae and fungi are lichens, right? Termites have symbiotic relationship. Now let's see next question. See, this is question asked in 2017, right? Due to some reasons, if there is a huge fall in the population of species of butterflies, ठीक है, butterflies का population कम हो गया, what could be its likely consequence or consequences? ठीक है, so pollination of some plants could be adversely affected as butterflies, they play very important role in pollination, right? So pollination is what? Plants में pollen को मेल ऑर्गेनिज्म से फीमेल ऑर्गेनिज्म में ट्रांसफर करना, दैट इज पॉलिनेशन, राइट. सो पॉलिनेशन हैपेंस विथ मेनी बर्ड्स, हनी बीस, वैस्प्स, फ्लाइज, विंड, वाटर एक्सेट्रा पॉलिनेशन में हेल्प करती है, राइट. सो बटरफ्लाइज आल्सो प्ले वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन पॉलिनेशन ऑफ प्लांट्स, राइट. सो पॉलिनेशन ऑफ सम प्लांट्स कुड बी एडवर्सली अफेक्टेड एज इफ बटरफ्लाइज मर गया तो बाई पॉलिनेशन में कम होगा, so pollination would be adversely affected. There could be a drastic increase in the fungal infections of some cultivated plants, right? See, again, there could be a drastic increase in the fungal infections of some cultivated plants. See, again, there is no evidence of this. The two drastic increase in the fungal infections of some cultivated plants, the two cultivated plants, right? Cultivated plants में fungal infection, that to drastic increase, no. See, again, most of the keys that year they released, so they have taken this also as a correct answer, but UPSC hasn't taken, right? So you cannot blindly take all in these kind of questions, right? We need to be mindful, right? So, and it could lead to fall in the population of some species of wasps, spiders and birds, because birds eat butterflies, few spiders eat butterflies and wasps also rely on butterflies for their food. So अगर butterflies मर गए तो wasps इनके population में भी adversely affect होगा, fall हो जाएगा. जैसे हम कुछ few crops में वो हो गया तो humans का population में भी affect होगा, right? So 1 and 3 are the answer, that is 1 and 3. So let's read the explanation. See, butterflies are pollinating insects. So they help in pollination of many flowering plants. So if there is huge fall in population of butterflies, pollination of some plants could be adversely affected, right? So butterflies also act as a lower member of the food chain. A number of animals including birds, mice feed on butterflies. As the population of butterflies fall, so will the population of birds and other animals that rely on them as a food source. So this loss of butterfly is the beginning of butterfly effect. So once butterflies are lost, so plants would be lost, right? Plants population में affect होगा, and many birds and wasps, right? Wasps also pollinating, right? And spiders and birds would be adversely affected. It would lead to large scale destruction of biodiversity. So that is called as butterfly effect, right? So that is, and there is no proven link between fall in butterfly population and a drastic increase in the fungal infection of some cultivated plants. So cultivated plants may drastic increase in fungal infection ka there is no evidence, right? So we don't take it, right? Now let's see next question. See, in 2013 there is a question. Consider the following kinds of organisms. Which of the above is or pollinating agents. Pollinating agents. Pollinating agents is what? Pollination is defined as transfer of pollen from stamen to pistil, right? So plant, see, transfer of pollen, see, say plant A, right? So plant A has pollen, right? So pollen, right? So transfer to plant B. So pollen from stamen to pistil of plant B. So that can be done by birds, bat, bee, air. See, air जोर से हवा आ गया. So एक प्लांट से दूसरे प्लांट में pollen is very tiny particles, so they can go, and with water, right? All these are pollinating agents. So pollination and pollinating agents, right? So bat, honeybee, bird, butterflies, flies, moths, wind, etc. are pollinating agents. So bees pollinate many of the fruits and vegetables we like to eat. So honeybees, right, जो sweet nectar जब लेते time, right? So it also pollinates accidentally or deliberately. Pollinating agents जो है, they can either accidentally pollinate or they can deliberately pollinate. Butterflies are dusted with pollen while sipping nectar from the flowers, right? So and they live in other flowers, so they get pollinated. Wind moves the pollen grasses, conifers and many other trees, right? So pollination में help करती है. Hummingbirds transfer pollen with their beaks and on their heads as they move on nectar, right? Moths also get in pollen while using their tongues like straw to sip nectar. ठीक है. Flies are often considered pests, but some species are valuable pollinators also, right? So all these are pollinators. So 1 2 3, right? Everything. See, in fact water also pollinates, right? बस pollen को लेके जाना है दूसरी फ्लेवर तक, right? Sometimes self pollination भी होता है, प्लांट खुद पॉलिनेट करती है, राइट? एक ही प्लांट में दोनों मेल एंड फीमेल होता है, तो सेल्फ पॉलिनेटिंग भी होती है. सो दैट इज पॉलिनेटिंग एजेंट्स, राइट? वी नीड टू बी अवेयर ऑफ इट. नाउ लेट्स सी नेक्स्ट. दैट इज नेक्स्ट इज this one. Question asked in 2022. That is, the certain species of which one of the following organisms are well known as cultivators of fungi? Cultivators of fungi. Cultivators of fungi means, see, there are few ant species which cultivate fungi. That means they are growing fungi, right? Like the way we are cultivating our crops, these ants are cultivating fungi, right? So the ant fungus mutualism, right, mutually benefiting is, see, again mutualism का एक और example देखो. Ant and fungus mutualism is between certain ant and fungal species in which ants actively cultivate fungus, right? In which ants actively cultivate fungus, much like humans farm crops as a food. जैसे हम लोग crops ग्रो कर रहे हैं, कल्टिवेट कर रहा है, वैसे ह्यूमंस फंगस को कल्टिवेट कर रहा है. एंड दोज एंड्स आर व्हाट? द फ्यू ants species, that is, these ants are called atiny ants or atine ants, right? Atiny ants are a group of more than 200 species of ants, all of which use several different agricultural techniques to cultivate mutualistic fungi, which they raise in fungi gardens, right? Atiny ants, right? Some 250 kind species of ants are there. These are atiny ants. All the atiny species ants, they cultivate, right? So these are called leaf cutter atiny ants. वो क्या करती है? They cut the leaves by themselves, right? पेड़ों पे पत्ते काटती है and they take those leaves to the fungi cultivating areas, right? And they feed the leaves to the fungi. तो leaves को fungi में convert करते हैं, ठीक है? fungi attack करके leaves को वो करते हैं, fungal gardens cultivate करते हैं. Use these leaves as their fertilizer to grow their crop, that is fungus, right? So they cultivate their fungal gardens by providing them with freshly cut leaves protecting them from pests and molds and clearing them of decayed material and garbage. Okay, so cut their leaves and protect them from pests and molds. So basically they act as an army. Okay, then clearing them from decayed material and garbage. Timely they clear also, right? In return, the fungus acts as a food source for the ants, and these ants eat the fungus. And when it happened 60 million years ago. 60 million years ago, when the asteroid hit the earth surface, जो डायनोसर्स की डेथ के रीजन थे. ठीक है, जब क्या हुआ, when asteroid hit, ठीक है, so the layer of mud, ठीक है, जो भी सैंड पार्टिकल्स का मड है वो अर्थ सनलाइट को कवर किया. जब सनलाइट को कवर किया, मेनी प्लांट्स एंड मेनी एनिमल्स दे डाइड, राइट. वन ऑफ देम आर dinosaurs, right? So they died. So when they died, ants are what? Ants are living in underground, so they rely on dead organisms, etc. They rely on plants, they rely on other insects. So when they died, these tiny ants evolved a mechanism to rely on fungus, right? Rely on fungus. So there is a video. You watch this video, right? So I am putting it. So watch the video.
If you visit the tropical forests of Central and South America, you might be lucky enough to spot a parade of leafcutter ants, tirelessly carrying food back to their nests. But did you know that those ants aren't taking those leaf cuttings home to eat? Because I did not know that. The fact is, they physically can't survive on plant material. Instead, the ants use those leaves to feed the gardens of fungi that they grow in their colonies, which are their primary source of food. And both the age and the sophistication of these little farms put our farms to shame. While we've been farming for around 10,000 to 12,000 years, the ancestors of these ants have been doing it for around 60 million years. And over that time, they've been through many of their own agricultural revolutions that have changed not just how they farm, but also the very biology of their fungi that they grow, and the biology of the ants themselves. So when and how and why did ants start farming? It looks like the relationship between ants and fungi may have emerged from the ashes of a famously devastating extinction event. Now, these ants didn't start out as fungus farmers. For much of their history, they did what most ants still do today. They go out into the world and eat the things that they find, which also is how I go through life. But everything changed for them when they started farming. And this transition happened only once, in the subgroup known as the Atini, because they're teeny ants. That's not why they call them that, actually. There are more than 250 species of these ants, all of them in the Western Hemisphere, and all of them fungus farmers.
Right? So you have watched the video. So attain ants, right? They cultivate fungi. And some, also you can search in YouTube for zombie ants. Zombie ants. See, zombie ants, ये भी fungi से ही होता है. Right? Certain kind of fungi, what they do, they attack these ants and they make ants, fungi उस ant को attack करती है, right? And उस ant के brain को control करती है. And after the controlling brains, these ants move like zombies, right? That's why they are called zombie ants. So zombie ants also happen because of fungi. और फिर क्या करती है, माइंड को कंट्रोल करके ants को ऐसा माइंड कंट्रोल करके ऐसा टेम्परेचर में लेके जाती है, ऐसा हाइट में पेड़ के ऊपर लेके जाती है, राइट, वेयर मॉइस्चर एंड ह्यूमिडिटी इज देयर, राइट. सो देन फिर एंट उधर जाती है तो देयर द फंगाई किल्स दोस एंट्स, राइट. सो ब्रेन कंट्रोलिंग फंगाई, राइट. zombies, they make ants into zombies, right? So that is called, they are also done by fungi. You can search it and you will find it, right? So that is the thing with respect to. Now let's go to next, that is ecological pyramids. Now let's discuss about ecological pyramids. Ecological pyramids, right? See, pyramids is nothing but our representation, right? Representation of food chains or food webs, right? So see, the steps of trophic level expressed in diagrammatic way are referred to as ecological pyramids. Right? See, steps of tropic level express. See, first tropic level, second tropic level, we have discussed it, right? Expressed in a diagrammatic way are referred to as ecological pyramids. The pyramid consists of number of horizontal bars depicting specific tropic level with producers at the base. So producers, we will always put them at the base. See, this is the base. So in this pyramid, say pyramid is here. So here it would be producers, right? Then it would be primary consumers, then it would be secondary consumers and tertiary consumers, right? So producers would be at the base, and primary consumers and secondary consumers and tertiary consumers, right? So this one, it represents first tropic level, this represents second tropic level, and this represents third tropic level, and this represents fourth tropic level, right? In inverted pyramids also, producers would be at the base, right? So producers would always be at the base at the pyramids, right? That we need to. Then primary consumers, right? So next tropic level, next tropic level, next tropic level we go. Secondary consumers and tertiary consumers, right? So based on that, we'll be having. So one is upright pyramid, right? So that is pyramids are up like this, right? Normally upright pyramids, and this would be inverted pyramids, right? So we'll be discussing. So ecological pyramids are of three categories, right? One is pyramid of numbers, and other is pyramid of biomass, and third is pyramid of energy, right? So this is basically to get clarity with respect to the food chain and food web, right? So now let's see. So first let's deal with pyramid of numbers, right? Pyramid of numbers, right? So pyramids. So it is a diagrammatic representation of total number of individuals of different species belonging to each tropic level in an ecosystem, right? So it is diagrammatic representation of total number of individuals of different species belonging to each tropic level in an ecosystem, right? Pyramid of numbers, basically we will deal with total number of individuals of different species are there, right, in each tropic level. So pyramid of numbers may not always be upright and may even be completely inverted भी हो सकता है. Let's check. See, pyramid of numbers. So first is where we see pyramid is upright. So when we move from producers to like next tropic levels in this pyramid, the number of individuals is decreased from lower level to higher tropic level. So we'll be going from, so that is from producers. So producers, the numbers will be high, and consumers, right? As we move, the numbers will be decreasing. So that's why see here grass, say numbers are more. So that's why the base is more. So here producer. So grassland ecosystem में, so grass is many, right? So there are x number of grass plants, right? So that would be many, right? So number is more, so more is represented with a broader base, right? So number of producers, lower level producers are more, right? Then grasshoppers, so grasshoppers would be fewer than grass, right? So that's what we see, right? Then rats which eat grass, so would be less, and snakes would be lesser than rats. So that's why this is a pyramid shape. See here more numbers, right? Here less numbers, and here lesser than, say here 1 lakh hai, right? So here it would be, say let's take 10,000 grasshoppers, and rats would be 1,000, right? Nearly, and snakes would be 100, right? So that much only they can support, because obviously grass would be more in number, right? Snakes would be less. अगर snakes ज्यादा है rat से, तो snakes मर जाएंगे, right? Because snakes eat rats, right? So that is the case. So pyramids of numbers, right? This type of pyramid can be seen in grassland ecosystem, right? In fact, sea में भी जैसे phytoplankton है, right? Phytoplankton would be more in number than zooplankton, right? Then crustaceans, then fish, right? So phytoplankton phytoplankton would be more in number, microscopic है, so number wise more होंगे. Zooplankton which eat phytoplankton would be less, right? And crustaceans like crabs etc would be less than fish would be more, right? So this is again ocean may be pyramid of numbers hai, right? So that is pyramid, upward pyramid, right? So pyramid of numbers. Then so like check, see, grass is a producer, right? Okay, grass, they produce their own food from the sunlight, so occupy the base, the lowest tropic level. So this is the lowest tropic level, right? The next tropic level is primary consumer, say herbivore grasshopper, right? The number of grasshoppers is less than that of grass, right? The next is secondary consumer, say carnivore rat, the number of rats are less than grasshopper because they feed on grasshopper, right? So the next tropic level is secondary carnivore, say snakes, they feed on rat. With each tropic level, each higher tropic level, right, the number of individuals decreases. So that's why the pyramid is upright, right? The next is pyramid of numbers inverted. Pyramid of numbers inverted, right? So that is in this pyramid, the number of individuals is increased from lower level, right? Increased from lower level to higher tropic level. So inverted, right? Numbers, right? Increase from, right? As we see here, producer, right? Because हमेशा producer ही नीचे होना चाहिए हमारा pyramids में, right? So big tree is a producer, right? ठीक है? And this type of pyramid can be seen in a forest, and that is example is, see, big tree is a producer, right? Then herbivores say birds, right? See, big tree is one, right? And birds can be, say, 10 to 15 birds can live in a tree, right? So as we move, number is increasing, right? Move to higher tropics. So these are consumers. Birds are primary consumers, so number is increasing. And as we move further, so birds पे होंगे छोटे छोटे parasites. So parasites can be insects which rely on these birds. ठीक है, birds पे मान ले कोई bird मर गया, उनको attack करके खाएंगे, right? Parasites. So insects would be more in number than birds, right? Then there would be hyperparasites which are too many. Say these are, say, 500. So parasites would be, say, hyperparasites would be 5,000, 50,000, right? So hyperparasites can be microorganisms, right? So here this can be small insects, right, etc. So microorganisms would be more. Microorganisms rely on insects, right? So these inverted are less, but they are possible, right? Right? Example, जैसे big tree है, ठीक है? So this is inverted pyramid. So pyramid of numbers there is possible. So tree being a primary producer represent the base of the pyramid, ठीक है? Base of the pyramid by number कम है, तो इसीलिए हम base को कम we take it as narrow, right? And the dependent herbivores, say birds, represent the next tropic level being the primary consumers. So birds are higher in number than the tree. So since they are higher in number, so we will take it as more broad, right? So this makes it inverted. So in the next higher tropic level are parasites. So they are dependent on birds and higher in number than birds. They are dependent on birds and higher in number than birds. In the next higher tropic level are hyperparasites, represent higher in number, thus giving us inverted pyramid as number of organisms increase from base to higher levels, right? So that is inverted pyramid of numbers. So it is very difficult to count all the organisms in a pyramid of numbers, and so the pyramid of number does not completely define the trophic structure for an ecosystem. So pyramid of numbers has limitations, right? So that's why we rely on pyramid of biomass also sometimes, right? So this is second one. So that is pyramid of biomass. So numbers, instead of counting kitne species hai, kitne organisms hai, so we will calculate the total biomass. So in order to overcome shortcomings of pyramid of numbers, the pyramid of biomass is used. Okay. In this approach, individuals in each tropic levels are weighed instead of being counted. So weigh, like approximately kitana weight hoga, that we will be counting. So this gives us pyramid of biomass, that is the total dry weight of all organisms at each trophic level at a particular time, right? Then pyramid of biomass is usually determined by collecting all organisms occupying each trophic level separately, right? Each trophic level separately and measuring their dry weight. Okay. So the pyramid of biomass may not always be upright. So it is also not always upright, or may even be completely inverted. Completely. So there can be upright pyramids of biomass also, and there can be completely inverted pyramids of biomass also. Right. So what? Let's check it. So the first is pyramid of biomass, that is upright, right? So that is for most ecosystems on land, the pyramid of biomass has a large base of primary producers with a smaller trophic level perched on top, right? See example, see producers. So pyramid of land, ecosystems of land, let's take producers are, say, grass are plants, right? Herbivores, say rabbit, right? You can note down this. So primary carnivores can be, say, fox, and secondary carnivores or top carnivores, say, lion. So if we see grass would be more, right? Rabbits, right? Grass, and grass ka biomass would be more. Say let's take it is 10,000 kg of biomass of grass. So 10,000 kg of biomass can accommodate only 1,000 kg of rabbits, right? So ऐसा नहीं होगा ना, rabbit का weight, if we take rabbit का weight won't be more than grass. So as we move up, so biomass increase. So fox, number of fox will be less, and fox ka biomass would be less than rabbit, say 100 kg. And say top carnivore lion हो सकता है ये 10 kg हो, right? Imagine just let's taking say 100 kg की जगह 1 lakh kg ले लो ऐसा. So now it would be right. So as we move in most of the ecosystems of the land, right? Land ecosystems, biomass is also a upright pyramid, right? As we move up, the biomass will decrease, right? So the biomass of producers, autotrophs, is at the maximum. The biomass of next trophic level, primary consumers, is less than the producers, and the biomass of next higher trophic level, secondary consumers, is less than primary consumers. The top higher trophic level has very less amount of biomass. Top higher trophic level has very less amount of biomass, right? Then the biomass, pyramid of biomass inverted, right? Pyramid of biomass inverted, right? That is in contrast, in many aquatic ecosystems, the pyramid of biomass may assume an inverted form, right? In aquatic ecosystems, inverted form. This is because the producers are, let's check. See here in aquatic ecosystems, producers नीचे होंगे. So producers are phytoplanktons. So phytoplanktons वो weight कम होगा because they grow and reproduce rapidly, right? So they are tiny. Producers are tiny phytoplanktons. Phytoplanktons are microorganisms, right? So they grow and reproduce rapidly, and they will be consumed by herbivores or zooplankton, right? Zooplankton, they consume as and if phytoplanktons are produced. ठीक है, जैसे जैसे प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है वैसे वैसे खाते जा रहा है. So overall biomass would be less of phytoplankton because they are small in size, right? And then zooplankton are also small, right? So zooplankton's lifetime also is less. So as and when zooplankton are produced, they are eaten by crustaceans and fish, right? Higher level वाले खाएंगे. So and higher level जैसे जैसे ऊपर जाता रहेंगे, so fish weight is more than zooplankton, and zooplanktons weight is more than phytoplankton, right? And bigger fishes, whales, etc., their weight or biomass is more than fish, right? So that's why in aquatic ecosystems we see inverted biomass pyramid, right? In contrast, in aquatic ecosystems, the pyramid of biomass may assume an inverted form because of consumers, etc. of these reasons, right? So that is in both. So now is pyramid of energy. So that is, see, one thing is in both pyramids of number and pyramids of biomass, we can see upright pyramid and we can see inverted pyramid. We can see upright pyramid in biomass also. We can see inverted pyramids in biomass also. Numbers also we can see upright and inverted, right? But if we see pyramid of energy, it is always upright, right? As we move from producer to higher level of consumers, energy will reduce. That we have already discussed also. We will discuss it again, right? So this is pyramid of energy. So to compare the functional roles of the trophic levels in an ecosystem, an energy pyramid is most suitable. It is the most suitable one. Energy pyramid of energy. An energy pyramid reflects the laws of thermodynamics because it reflects the laws of thermodynamics with conversion of solar energy to chemical energy and heat energy at each trophic level, and with loss of energy being depicted at each transfer of another trophic level. Hence pyramid is always upright. Okay, as we move from one trophic level to another trophic level, say producers, right? Say plants, right? Or aquatic ecosystem also, or phytoplankton, right? Phytoplankton or plants of seas, right? So phytoplankton, right? And we have zooplankton, and we have crustaceans, and we have fish, right? So as we move from producers, that is plants, right, which they take energy from sunlight. So sunlight से मान ले इतना एनर्जी आ रहा है, only 10% flows. So this is 10,000 joules. If it is 1 lakh, so it would be 10,000. As we move from, see here, energy would be wasted. See, producers waste energy, right? So again here 10% would be transferred. So the 10% law applies. So as we move, so the energy base becomes narrower. So that's why it is always upright, right? So it is always, because in the forms of waste, right, in the forms of waste of energy, in the forms of defecation, etc., right? So energy would be always lost. Only 10% transfer hota hai. So that's why energy pyramid is always, and it is always upright. As we move from producer to higher level of tropics, so energy would be reduced, right? So that is, and next is limitations of ecological pyramids. It assumes a simple food chain, something that seldom exists in nature. It does not accommodate a food web. So it is again food chain based, right? Food web based nahi hai, because here we are discussing, so phytoplankton, zooplankton, एक organism wise discuss कर रहा है. So we are not taking ki zooplankton, right, have many species, right, and higher levels eat zooplankton also, right? Fishes also eat zooplankton, etc. We are not taking. So food web we are not considering. Then saprophytes such as plants, fungus, and microorganisms that live on decaying matter are not given any place in the ecological pyramids, even though they play a vital role in the ecosystem, right? That is decomposers. So decomposers are not given vital role in the ecosystem, right? Decomposers are not given. So because they play, in fact we have discussed how in grazing ecosystems, right, decomposers play major role, right? So they don't consider ecological pyramids, they don't consider saprophytes or decomposers, right? So these are the limitations, right? Now let's see associated energy pyramid concept helps in explaining the phenomena of biomagnification, right? Biomagnifications, right? So pollutions and the trophic levels. So pollutant, especially the non-biodegradable, right, non-degradable materials, which cannot be metabolized by living organisms, right, not only move through various trophic levels in an ecosystem, but also remain in that trophic level for a very long time, right? So here we will be studying about bioaccumulation and biomagnification, right? So a trophic level of movements, etc., right? Energy pyramids help us in understanding about concept of bioaccumulation and biomagnification, right? So now let's understand what is bioaccumulation. Okay. So bioaccumulation is what? Say there is a pond or there is a ocean, right? So there is mercury. Mercury is a pollutant, right? And fish are consuming mercury, right? Fish are consuming mercury, right? So now mercury is not easily digestible, right? Fishes they cannot digest. So अब fish थोड़ा mercury ले लिया, ठीक है, बाकी food जो भी लिया, ठीक है, वो तो digest हो गया, right? So now mercury is deposited inside the fish. Then next food it eats, it takes small quantity of mercury. So now mercury is accumulated, right? Now next food जो भी बाकी food लिया, right? That gets digested and waste में release होगा, right? But mercury next time it takes food, mercury gets further accumulated because mercury is non-degradable, right? Materials which cannot be metabolized, वो digest ही नहीं होता है, right? By the living organism. So mercury is getting accumulated. So that is bioaccumulation. That is gradual accumulation of pollutants within the organisms. Within the same trophic level. Within the same trophic level. Fish है, same trophic level में same organism है, same fish level. Within the same trophic level, due to absorption from food and environment is called bioaccumulation. Is called bioaccumulation, right? So bioaccumulation occurs when the rate of loss of the substance from the body through catabolism, right? Bioaccumulation occurs when the rate of loss of substance from the body through catabolism excretion is lower than the rate of accumulation of the substance, right? So mercury जो fish धीरे धीरे कंज्यूम कर रही थी, ठीक है, that is getting accumulated, right? Absorption वो हो ही नहीं रहा है, excretion हो ही नहीं रहा है, right? So that is leads to bioaccumulation, right? Then आता है biomagnification. See, bioaccumulation happens at same trophic level, right? Same trophic level means same species, right? Same level of species. So that is bioaccumulation. Then आता है biomagnification. Right? So biomagnification, that is increase in concentration of pollutants in the bodies of the consumers as one moves up the food chain is called biomagnification. अब देखो biomagnification, ठीक है, अब fish है, ठीक है, fish को consume किया, small fish consumed mercury. Now this fish is consumed by tuna fish. Fish ate the small fish. So now mercury is accumulated. जो fish ये पूरा fish को खा लिया, fish को digest कर लिया, waste में चला गया, but mercury got deposited. So the entire mercury, अगर इस fish को काम लिया, तो this entire mercury got accumulated. Now this is also eating another fishes also. So इस fish का भी mercury got accumulated. This mercury also got accumulated. Now humans are eating tuna fish. So humans are eating tuna fish. So humans are taking this entire mercury. So with going to higher tropical levels, right? जैसे जैसे tropic levels में बढ़ रहा है, right? So there is increase in magnification. There is magnification of this accumulation. So magnify, right? Multiply of mercury. That is biomagnification, right? So we are moving across trop levels, right? Tropic level from, see, this is primary consumer. So this is secondary consumer. This is tertiary consumer. So as we move to tropic level, right? So there is magnification of mercury. So that is biomagnification. So increase in concentration of pollutants in the bodies of consumers as one moves up the food chain is called moves up the food chain. That is moves up to another tropic level is called biomagnification, right? So another example of biomagnification is biomagnification of DDT in an aquatic food chain, right? That is an example, right? So in order for biomagnification to occur, the pollutant must be long lived, right? So must be long lived. So pollutant, say mercury is long lived, DDT is long lived, and it must be mobile. It has to move, right? And it has to be soluble in fats, right? Not soluble in waters. Water में soluble है तो क्या है? वो excretion में चला जाएगा. So soluble in fats है तो वो fat में deposit होगा and biologically active, right? So if the pollutant is short lived, अगर long lived की जगह short lived होता, it will be broken down before it can become dangerous. ठीक है? If it is not mobile, if it is not mobile, it will stay in one place and is unlikely to taken up by organisms. If the pollutant is soluble in water, it will be excreted by the organism. It will be soluble in water, it will be excreted by the organism. So pollutants that dissolve in fats, however, may be retained for a long time. So that dissolves in fats, fat soluble, right? Because it is deposited in the fat, so it remain for the long time. So ये होना चाहिए biomagnification के लिए. So example is biomagnification of DDT in aquatic food chain. So water में DDT है. So phytoplankton takes some DDT. So when zooplankton consume, right? So phytoplankton तो digest होके चला जाएंगे, but zooplankton में more DDT will be deposited, right? So then when small fish eat phytoplankton, right? Zooplankton, right? So they take DDT more, right? More deposits. So as large fish eat small fish, all the DDT will be saved. So when finally eagle eats the DDT concentration, so as we move up the trophic level, the DDT concentration will increase. Similar way, the mercury is increased. So that's why these are the very good examples. Mercury and DDT are good examples of biomagnification. So biomagnification happens across. See, this is first trophic level, second trophic level, third trophic level. As we are moving up, the concentration of DDT is increasing, right? So bioaccumulation is with respect to same trophic level, right? So that's it. So with this, we are done with this class.